Hi, my name is Maria 5. Welcome to my channel if you're new. Welcome back to my channel if you're not so new. I am in Cochrane, Alberta, my Auntie Chrissy's house. My mom is with me. We just took a trip down from Edmonton, and I have not one, not two, but three novels to discuss. We tried really hard to find a novel that was good, in my humble opinion, of course. And I have no tea, but I have a really cool mug to show you. If you can read that. And holy bologna on the inside. All right. So yes, grab a tea. Make sure you have honey in your tea today. You'll figure out why later. The make is this dress, which is kind of a crushed velvet, serged. It's got some really nice weight and drape to it. It was a simplicity pattern. No, sorry, it was a new look pattern, and it did sew up quite easily after I made a few adjustments. Had to make it a little bit bigger. And now the top, of course, is a little bit gapey, so I'm going to fix that on the next one. And with that, we will get started. So the first book we're going to talk about is Simply Lies by David Baldacci, which we thought we would try and, have a little talk about.
I obviously didn't get a lot out of it because I can't even remember the ending. I feel so... How can you read a book and not remember? Honestly, it's gone. All I can say is there are better books out there. That's what I can say about that.
Hi. Simply Lies introduces a couple of new characters in Baldacci's new series. I'm not looking forward to it. He has some wonderful series. I don't think this is going to be one of them. I don't relate to either Mickey or her cohort. And her parents parachute in and rescue her, which, I would have loved to have had. It's lovely. And it didn't happen in real life, not for me. So I'm not sure that it's a realistic story. It's not. I find her ability to transverse the world of finance, bitcoins, and things like that, great. I'd like to know more of that, and it doesn't show it. It's more action oriented. And then there's a kidnapping in the middle, and which makes absolute. I had to read that 3 times to get it, and I still don't get it. So if it doesn't make sense, take it out.
Highly unbelievable. We start off with Mickey, who has left a very abusive relationship. She has 2 children, 3 and 4, so little children. And as my aunt said, numerous times her parents have to come and rescue her, which, I mean, yeah, it's great if you have it. It's not so great if you don't have it. I had a Gram who was always there for me, which was fantastic. I could drop the baby off, pick the baby up, take a little 3-hour nap if you needed to. Like, it was really, really good. I had a little bit of that, but not to the degree of her parents, for sure not. The other thing I will say, and if you are writing, if you are listening to this, David Baldacci, hear this. Assume your writers are intelligent. Don't tell us she's a single parent 5 times, 8 times. We got it. Maybe mention it one more time after the first time, and then that's it. Don't go over it. It just, to me, belittles your reader, assumes that they're not intelligent enough to actually be reading and they need to be spoon-fed everything multiple times. Not a good scenario. So, Simply Lies, David Baldacci, I think we all agreed, fail. Yeah, thumbs down, thumbs down. All right.
One thing I'd like to say, and I've read this somewhere else, but the first opening salvo, he is dealing with children that are inevitably throwing up and creating messes that I've left behind and I don't want to hear about anymore. Get rid of that.
True, very true. Yeah. Nobody wants to read about that. We get it. Her kids are really sick. They throw up a lot. Oh my goodness. Yes. Okay. That was book number 1. Book number 2, because we're still trying to find a really good book to read here. So I don't know if any of you have read The Midnight Library by Matt Haig, but wow, fantastic book. You have to suspend your belief. You have to buy into it. But if you can buy into it, it's a brilliant read. It's a library that you go to. Every book is another decision that you have made in your life. And so you end up with a different life. And I know some of us, me included, have gone, what if I'd made that decision instead of the one I made? Like, what would my life look like? This book is a brilliant explanation. If you can get it, if you can buy into that philosophy, it's absolutely brilliant. Each book, she gets a little different taste of a different decision that she could have made but chose not to. And doesn't like it, you go back up to the Midnight Library, pull out a different book. Like, it was really, really well done. So you had to suspend your belief, but once you did that, it was so good. I highly recommend Midnight Library. So then we get The Life Impossible, La Vida Imposible, Matt Haig. And I thought, because the Midnight Library was so good, I just enjoyed it so much, this has got to be good. And you know, it wasn't. It just really wasn't. La Presencia is that same part as the Midnight Library. La Presencia is that alien area, substance, however you want to call it. It's in the ocean underneath. Let's start at the beginning of the story, shall we? We have Grace. Grace is a widow, and she is living by herself now and kind of looking back to her life. And all of a sudden, out of the blue, she gets this letter from a colleague of hers from 30 years ago, quite a while ago. 30 years ago, Christina, who they were colleagues, they were teachers, and they found themselves alone Christmas. And Grace was like, oh, come on over. Just, we'll have some wine, we'll chat. Like, it saves both of us from being alone. And so they're young, and they just don't have anything else. They're not with family. So they go over there. They spend this wonderful evening together, chatting and talking. And Christina says, I always thought I would be a singer. And Grace says, go, be a singer. Do it. Like, what are you waiting for? This is not a dress rehearsal. This is real life. Do what you need to do. So Christina goes off. She goes to Ibiza, and becomes a singer and famous and has this wonderful life. And then we're not really sure. Some of the papers say she dies. Nothing's really conclusive. There's an ongoing investigation. But she leaves the house to Grace. And Grace, who lives in England, goes, what? I haven't seen you or heard from you in 30 years and you're leaving me your house? What? So she leaves and she goes to Ibiza and finds this house and tries to figure out what's going on with all this. And then she finds Christina's partner, who wrote La Vida Imposible, The Life Impossible. And it's that's where La Presencia comes in, this alien force, nature. And so this guy, sorry, I cannot remember his name. I will look him up for you. Decides he's going to take her diving, but La Presencia only happens at night. So it's midnight. They're in a boat and he's going to take her diving. I'm sorry, I'm a diver. I've been diving for years and years and years. And it's not half an hour or 15 minutes in a boat in the dark. Like, that just is not how you go diving. And this guy is supposedly a dive master, runs a dive school. So right away.
She's never dived before.
No, she's never dove before. She has no idea what she's doing.
She has no idea what she's doing.
Yeah, no.
What? I wouldn't do that.
No, I don't think anybody would. Patty would be all over that. Patty is the governing force of, one of two governing forces for scuba divers. And yeah, no. So again, I mean, I could have bought into it, but you got to make it a little bit real. And that just was a big fail for me. Yeah. So yeah, not so good. And my aunt has not read it yet. So she said she will read it. Maybe we'll have an update next time I come. So we get to the book that we're really here to talk about. And that is Mad Honey, Jodi Picoult and Jennifer Finney Boylan. Jodi Picoult has written 28 books, And Jennifer Finney Boylan has written 23 books. Mad Honey was published in 2022. And wow, this is the book. This is such a good read. And my auntie actually was the one who recommended it. So here we are. We've all three of us read it. So we're going to delve into that. So you will notice I have a honeybee. Compliments of my mom. Well, I'm probably going to give it back. I don't know. She hasn't said I could keep it, but we'll get to that after, won't we? Anyway, yes, Mad Honey. So we have 4 characters. We have Olivia, Asher, Maya, and Lily. The point of view bounces between Olivia and Lily. Olivia's timeline is here and going forward, and Lily's timeline is here and going backward. Like now and then 2 days ago, 5 days ago, that you get the idea. In the beginning, it's really kind of hard to keep track of what's going on. A little bit like The Time Traveler's Wife, where you really just have to pay attention.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah, you really got to get into that timeline. Yeah, so, but once you're there, man, it makes sense. So just to give you a little bit of a background, Olivia is married, has a 6-year-old son, very abusive relationship, and then when the abuse happens to her son, she gets out. She like, no, this can't happen. She leaves, moves back to her parents' farm, and her father was a beekeeper, so she takes on the family bee business. With Asher, she's obviously training Asher. They have moved here, and this is now grade 12 high school. And Asher meets Lily, and they are like the ideal grade 12 couple, which, I don't know, if you can get back to being in grade 12, yes, it's all very ideal. For sure it is. I know mine was.
Idyllic. It was just beautiful.
Yeah. And grade 12 romance?
Yeah.
Yeah. It is. You never get back there. You know, it's like that one time in your life and you just never get back there. So this is grade 12 and everyone's like, ooh, we want to be Asher and Lily. We want to be Asher and Lily. Beautiful. They fight like any couple fights. Well, especially in high school, you know, volatile a little bit, right? Emotions, hormones, blah, blah, blah. They have this fight. She has not responded to Asher's text in 7 days. Asher finally says, that's it. We have to get this resolved. I'm coming over now. He comes over there and finds Lily dead at the bottom of the stairs. He's charged with murder. I'm going to leave you there. I'm not going to give you any more, but that's your little intro. You got to read the book to find out what happens. Okay, so now we're going to get into it. So what did you think of Olivia?
Oh, I liked Olivia. I think Olivia was quite real. I think she did everything she could. She was very lucky. Like her ex-husband, after she left him, was very good about following through with alimony and child support. That's really important because it allowed her to keep her bees and stay home with her son so that she was able to make enough going to farmers markets with her honey. She was enough to support them with the alimony and child support. That was incredibly important to me. Like as a single parent, I know, you know, it's tough. Like it's freaking tough, but it's great. Like you get this being that you watch grow up and it's wonderful. It's wonderful. I loved Olivia for her sensibility, her intelligence, and her drive. She was very good.
All right. And
For me, Olivia was the quintessential woman who could just get it done. She knew this had to be done and she did it. She knew that had to be done and she did it. She had health, which is another thing which is really important. And she was able to learn the art of beekeeping. I'd like to segue a little bit about beekeeping because to me, this book, the beekeeping was the symbol of how the calmness and the presence that you have when you are around animals and that you have to have in order to work with animals and understand them, and they understand you. And bees, there's a connection there, and that shows up so well. Olivia, she's got it. She understands it, and she just does it.
Yeah, there's definitely a zen. I agree with you. A very zen-like quality to any animal. Doesn't matter. I mean, y'all know I'm a cat person, but any animal. I mean, I love all animals. But yes, any animal, there has to be a zen-like quality. And bees, I think, as you say, really draw that out. I mean, and it's funny because I've had bees land on me. I've watched them walk on me, and I'm okay. And hornets, I start screaming like it's really funny. I've never been stung by a bee though.
I have.
Yeah, not once. Hornets, yes. Wasps, yes, but not bees. I've never been stung. So let's knock on wood that stays that way, because yikes. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I have a nephew that's literally deathly allergic to bees, like carries an EpiPen everywhere he goes, just in case. So yeah. Anyway, yeah, that was a really interesting part. I learned so much about beekeeping and honey and the combs and like what it takes to actually harvest the honey. Wow, hey?
Yeah,
There was a lot of knowledge in there. Yeah. And then we are going to get to the absolute, I think, what is the real point of this novel, and that is being queer, being transgender. Transgender is really a topic, and there are so many people out there that are just, I want to say terrified, and maybe that's a bit of an over-exaggeration. Maybe it's not quite terrified, but they are scared because they don't understand what's going on. They don't understand anything to do with gender. And more often than not, because they're afraid of it, they don't want anything to do with it. It's all bad. And this book does an absolute brilliant explanation of what's going on, what goes on up here, mentally, physically, spiritually. It's a brilliant book. And the author, Jennifer Finney Boylan, is trans. And so what better viewpoint can you possibly get than that? How did you feel about that?
It was an eye-opener. The turmoil that trans people go through, I never really thought about. I never had those issues myself. So to me, I'm very glad I read it, because it was informative and it was well done. I think it was extremely well done. Yeah.
All right. And how did you feel?
To me, it was an eye-opener as well, but I look at it from a different point of view, because I have been involved with the gay community in an object way, in a removed way. And I do have to say that in our culture and timely aspect of it, it was very important, because we don't see that. All we see is what's in the news, and what's in the news does not ever relate to what actually happens in a person's life. And to me, it made me understand that I need to learn more to understand it. And fear comes from not knowing. And knowing, this book will allow you to open the door and figure out where you can go to find more information and to understand it, and to learn to understand what's going on in the world as a whole and with particular people in my life.
I agree. Yes, I am also cis. That's kind of all I knew, and the door was definitely opened. But I do believe, and again, this is just my very humble opinion, but I do believe that every single being, wherever you are, whatever you are, you just want love and acceptance. That's what it's all about, is love and acceptance. And if everybody can offer everybody love and acceptance, wouldn't that be a great world? Wow, that I think is definitely something that we could all strive for in our daily life, regardless of if you're trans or cis or any part of the queer community at all. Just love and acceptance. It's so important, and it's so necessary. It really, really is. I think that's it. Hey?
I think it really promotes an understanding of issues that not everybody goes through. And I think it's really important to not just know about them, but to accept them. These people are just people. We're all people. We all have issues.
Yeah, regardless of whether you can see them or
Yeah,
not,
with love
right?
and
Like
affection,
what
that's
goes on up
universal.
here, yeah, we all have that.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good murder mystery. I picked it up because I understood it had a murder mystery. That's my genre of reading right now. And I thought that overall, still, it was a good murder mystery. You did not know who did it until the end.
Not till the
It's-
very, very end, and then the jaw drops.
I love Jodi Picoult's writing because of that. You don't know until the very end. When you read Leaving Time, the last page is like, oh my God. And then the next half of that page is like, oh my God. So it's her ability to reveal at the end. And that's what really is a magician's forte, is the reveal. And her reveal is amazing.
Definitely somebody who has honed her craft for sure. Both of them have definitely honed their craft.
Yeah.
I can only say on this one, but you can bet I will definitely be reading more. And I've already ordered that book from the library. So, all right. On that note, thank you so much for tuning in and listening. And we will see you again next Saturday. Take care. Bye-bye.